guys, so today's video is going to be a story time video, and it's going to be a bunch of story times just mashed into one because I've wanted to make this video for a while, and I was going to do it in like separate videos, but I figured all in one, talking about my horrible concert experiences and things that I've went through at concerts. So I did want to say before I got into this, most of the things that happened were my fault. I'm going to use the word horribly loosely because none of these experiences are really that horrible. Like, they could be so much worse. Seeing Demi Lovato at DigiFest was the worst. That was my choice to go and my choice to sit around and wait for like however many hours. It was like 5 to 6 hours. I go in and I'm wearing a Beatles shirt. Like, if you guys know me and my family, like my dad's side of the family, we love the Beatles. I grew up on the Beatles. I went to Target, saw this shirt, and was like, I'm wearing that for the show. So I'm walking in with my Beatles shirt. One of the security guards was like, you know that the Beatles aren't here, right? And I was like, you're trying to tell me that the Beatles aren't here? You think the Beatles would be at DigiFest? I mean, half of them aren't even around anymore, but you think if they were, they would be at DigiFest? And I got a refund, thankfully, because it was a really bad experience. A lot of people got refunds. I'm just gonna read the email. Okay, so it's very long, so bear with me. Hello, I attended DigiFest NYC this past Saturday and had a horrible experience from the moment I got there. I had skipped the line passes. When we got to the tent to receive our lanyards to obviously differentiate which tents we had, they ran out. We then proceeded to the GA line to simply give them our tickets without getting anything to prove that we were not just general admission. So my friends and I went to the Digi Info tent to see if there was any way we could figure something out. While waiting for the long amount of time we did, since only 2 people were helping, I put in quotations, helping, I got an insight of how terrible everyone was being treated. Also, the people working in the info tent were legitimately answering people's questions with, I don't know, which is absolutely ridiculous since they should be prepared for this type of thing even though it shouldn't have happened. The lady who helped us said more people showed up than expected, which is another thing this whole event should have been ready for. She directed us to go to security and tell them what was going on. We explained the situation to this disgustingly rude security guard. Oh my god, I remember this. Who told us that the skip the line people were supposed to keep our tickets to prove that we were in fact skip the line. And because we had printed out tickets, but we put them in like a bucket, and I guess the skip the line people had to keep the tickets, but no one told us that, so we didn't even have our tickets anymore. And I was like, are you kidding me? Since we had given our tickets to security earlier and there was no way of getting it back. He thought I said, are you crazy? And clearly I was speaking figuratively and not directed towards him since I knew it wasn't his fault. But I can't remember what his response was, but it was so rude. So after that, we went to the main stage and stood in general admission because we had no idea that we could go into the VIP area without having lanyards. They told us to show them our emails to prove it, and God forbid we didn't have it anymore. We would have been out of luck. After finally entering the VIP area, I had to leave to go to the bathroom, and once I got back, 2 of the security guards were shaking their head at me saying no. I replied with what? And they said, you can't go in. So I looked at them and then they started laughing at me saying, just kidding. What the heck? Honestly, I didn't find that funny at all. Now I think it's pretty hilarious. Because me being me now, like that was almost 3 years ago, I'm much different. I would probably stand up for myself, but then I probably would get kicked out. I didn't find that funny at all. Do your job. Don't mess around. I forgot to mention while I was entering the event, another security guard made a sarcastic comment about the Beatles shirt I was wearing and said, sorry, the Beatles aren't here. Again, not funny at all. I was not having it. It was honestly one of the worst experiences of my life. That is so dramatic. It's not. It could be so much worse. Everyone working there was so disrespectful and uneducated on the whole event. I don't think I needed to type out this whole long Harry Potter novel to send to them, but I'm glad I did because I have that now to look back on because I did forget about that really rude security guard. It was my first Demi concert, which was in November in 2011. And I remember I had a flip camera, and I talked about this before in one of my old videos. I had one of those old flip cameras and I was so excited. It was my first Demi Lovato concert. I'm like, I am going to record as much as I can on my little camera. I went to this concert with the intention of filming and taking pictures. I got in trouble for filming. Here I was being a rebel and being like, I'm gonna keep filming. The guy came over again and says, if I catch you one more time, I'm gonna throw you out of here. There was a red little record button on the front, like you could see the light. I kept recording. I was like, no, I paid so much money to be here. no, I'm going to record as much as I want. So I recorded it and I was like covering the light with my finger. So this one was really out of my control. It was the Mohegan Sun show for the Future Now tour, and I had meet and greets. I don't think I ever addressed this on my channel, but I had meet and greets for that show. I did talk about how I was meeting her on that tour on my channel, but I never told you guys on here why I didn't, and that was because a few days prior, my grandfather is very sick. A few days prior, he had passed away. So that exact day was when his wake fell. So I couldn't go to the concert early and meet her because I was at my grandfather's wake, and that was such a hard day for me. And my grandma was like, you guys go to the concert, go have some fun. So I went to my grandfather's wake, and right after my grandfather's wake, I went to the show and had a great time. It really got my mind off of things. I wish I was able to meet Demi just to tell her, like, thank you for being here this day and just like helping me get through this day, because that was something that really made me look forward to something, because it was such a hard day and a hard time, still is so hard for me. But this tour, I am meeting Demi. I feel like something is going to happen. I'm always late to shows. Something is going to happen. I just know it. I feel like something's not going to work out and I'm not going to meet her or something. The last horrible concert experience was actually a John Mayer concert. This was over the past summer, and I went with my friend. She really wanted to go see him, so I told her I would go with her, and I drove. It was packed. So what we did was we're driving there, and we see that to pay for parking you could only use cash, and I never have cash on me because I always lose it. We googled an ATM, and they were all so far away that came up on Google Maps, and we were just like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? So we see a nearby McDonald's. We see other people coming, walking out, going towards where the concert is, and we're like, okay, cool, let's park here. A bunch of other people are doing it, and we did. And that was the biggest mistake of the night. So we went to the show, had a great time. We were walking out, and I even joked to Rachel, what if my car's not there? As we get closer, I'm like, my car's not there. She's like, yeah, it is. I see it right there. I said, that is not my car. That is somebody else's car in the spot that we parked in. So my car was nowhere to be found. I was freaking out because, first of all, never had this problem, never had my car towed. I was like, what the heck? And then we look up at the post. I guess you had to walk over there to see it, but maybe I should have looked. And it said, all concert goers who park will be towed. We weren't the only ones. There was a couple other people, other couples, they also got their car towed, so they did the same exact thing. So it made me not feel as bad because that was so stupid of me to do. So the number they had on this post and this sign for the towing company that supposedly towed our cars was not the company that towed our cars. So we are calling all over the place. They said, try calling this place. I had to call Josh to come and pick me up, and he had work the next day. I was able to take the day off. Josh took the day off to drive with me to go get my car, and turns out when we got my car, the guy who towed it was like, you actually saved some money by coming and picking it up today and not last night. And I was like, great. This is the greatest part of this whole entire story, I have to say. Turns out, you guys ready for this one? There was an ATM in the McDonald's that we parked in, and we could have taken money out and paid for parking. Oh man. Those are my horrible concert experiences. Like I said, I'm saying that loosely because they're funny stories to tell now, and looking back on, they are funny. And like I said, most of them I put on myself. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and it made you laugh a little bit. If it did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you around. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.
You tried to break me down like I would hit the ground. Don't hear the hate, don't care about it. Yeah, you just don't mean enough to really